This video is not commentary, it is not opinion, it is not entertainment. It is a working framework and operating guide for every coordinator involved in building the Cathodic Protection Network blockchain. What you are about to hear is not optional. Every coordinator must engage with every part of this video, because no single person, no committee and no small leadership group can design or implement a global integrity system. This structure requires thousands of minds working in parallel, responding, correcting, updating and refining in real time. If you are here, you are not a follower of this framework, you are a contributor to it. We are not creating an organisation in the traditional sense. Organisations rot. They centralise power, freeze standards, protect reputations, and eventually serve themselves instead of truth. What we are building is a living blockchain structure grounded in real corrosion science, field data, open verification, and collective accountability, using modern information technology to do what old institutions failed to do. Groups like the National Association of Corrosion Engineers and the Institute of Corrosion took decades to build their structures, and even now their systems struggle to protect truth from politics, funding pressure and commercial influence. We are not waiting 20 years. We are building a structure that updates continuously, because corrosion does not wait for committees. The previous video laid out the deeper context, how corrosion science is entangled with finance, geopolitics, war, insurance, regulation and institutional corruption. That script was not philosophy. It was the ethical foundation of this network. It explains why technical measurements alone are not enough, why perfect readings can hide dangerous decay, and why truth must outrank compliance. This video assumes you have engaged with that framework. If you haven't, you are missing the operating logic of everything that follows. This framework is open source in spirit and collective in design. Every coordinator is expected to respond to every section, not with agreement, but with evidence, field data, correction, challenge and refinement. This system only works if it remains alive. That means updating with new science, new geopolitical realities, new failures and new threats to integrity. Static standards become dogma. Dogma kills people. This network exists to prevent that. What follows are the areas that were not fully developed in the previous video. These are not add-ons, they are structural load-bearing elements of the Cathodic Protection Network blockchain. If even one part is ignored, the system weakens. So listen carefully, challenge everything, contribute honestly, protect data, protect whistleblowers, and understand this clearly. This network is not about building influence. It is about building protection for infrastructure, for people, and for truth itself. The links included in this document are not optional extras. They are mandatory viewing for every coordinator in the Cathodic Protection Network blockchain. This network does not exist in isolation from the world. It operates inside geopolitics, finance, communication systems, and rapidly changing global power structures. If coordinators do not understand the forces shaping the world around infrastructure, energy, and information flow, then they cannot build a system that protects people, truth, and scientific integrity. Geopolitics. Too many variables predict outcome. This first link is a geopolitical discussion by two analysts, including Alex Craner. It shows that there are now too many interacting variables to predict outcomes using traditional political or economic models. Power blocks, shipping lanes, energy routes, sanctions, and military positioning change daily and sometimes hourly. This matters directly to corrosion science and pipeline safety, because when geopolitics becomes unstable, maintenance budgets collapse, standards are ignored, shortcuts are taken, and corrosion failures follow. For example, the Nord Stream pipelines. Pipelines and energy corridors sit at the centre of geopolitical pressure points. Coordinators must understand that infrastructure fails fastest during political instability. If you watch the following link, Alex Craner is talking about Iran and the movements on the Straits of Hormuz and Bab el-Mandeb. The US, all in with F-35s, major war brewing. Study the link and understand how it fits in with your function as a coordinator. Communications. The technological shift that changes everything. This second link is about communication systems and operating systems. The Cathodic Protection Network blockchain is a platform that depends entirely on fast, reliable, decentralized communication. The old software ecosystems that dominate most offices and institutions have become slow, politicised and controlled by money. What is now emerging is a world where mobile phones, tablets, computers and servers can communicate more directly, person to person and network to network, without the same corporate choke points. This changes how knowledge spreads. When people can exchange data freely, cooperation becomes easier than conflict. This shift in communications is what makes a global, distributed scientific network possible in the first place. Watch the next video and understand it, because this is about major changes in communication. Why both links matter to coordinators. These two links together explain why this project cannot be built as a traditional organisation. Geopolitics is becoming too unstable for rigid institutions to survive, and communication technology is evolving too fast for centralized control models to work. The Cathodic Protection Network blockchain must therefore be a living, adaptive platform. Coordinators are not administrators. They are distributed custodians of truth. Raw data and scientific accountability operating inside a world that is fragmenting politically while connecting technologically. There is a mandatory response requirement. Every coordinator must watch both links in full and respond to them. The first teaches that the world is now too complex to be controlled from the top. The second shows that communication systems are breaking free from corporate and political gatekeepers. Together they define the operating environment of this network. If coordinators do not understand these forces, they will build a system designed for a world that no longer exists.